Hey, what's up guys? I'm Shun, FREERIDER. New opening cafe or very yummy restaurant, we have to wait for a long time. It's very tired for me to do. But if you use Waitwhile, you can get a good reservation soon. So Waitwhile is a very good business for small business and customer. So let's enjoy the video. Well, thanks for your time today.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Happy
Thanks
to
again.
meet
Yeah.
Just around the corner from where I live, but happy to meet you.
Yeah, exactly. So first, please tell me about your product easily.
Okay, I'll try to make it quick.
Yeah.
So Waitwhile, our product is essentially a really smart waitlisting app. So any business or individual that has waiting guests, let's say you're a barber shop and you have walking customers waiting in line for your service and they're just sitting idle, or you have a restaurant and people are waiting in line for a brunch, or you're a postal office with people waiting for getting customer service, whatever it is, you have people waiting. The idea is to move away from the current paradigm, which is people are physically having to wait around for the service. You know, they're waiting for somebody to shout their name when it's their turn. They're looking at a number on a screen somewhere. You have to physically be present. What Waitwhile does, which is really unique, is you just add your phone number or your email or your name, and you get a text or you get an email with a link to an online version of the waitlist. So you can see in real time how many people are ahead of you, when is it your turn. But it also does a ton of really smart things on the back end. So for instance, it's able to calculate what the estimated wait time is. How long do you think you're gonna have to wait? You also get notified when it's soon your turn, like 5 minutes before it's your turn. So what it means is, as a guest, you can go somewhere else and do something more productive. You can go grab a drink on the corner or whatever while you're waiting. You don't need to physically be around, but it's really good for the business on the other hand, because they get a ton of data on how many people come during which time of day, what's the estimated time people usually have to wait, so that they can plan their staffing, but they can also learn about who their top visitors are and the loyal customers and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of a win-win between both the guest waiting or the customer waiting, but also the business. And the business can add their different services. They can personalize all of the text alerts to their branding. They can make a ton of customization on the waitlist to make it really feel like they're own.
So where did you get this idea from?
So I'm from Sweden originally.
Yeah.
And in Sweden, it's almost a religion when it comes to waiting in line. So people take waiting in line very seriously. You'll see if you go to Stockholm, people are waiting in line for everything, and it's almost it's seen as a major faux pas, like a major social disruption if you're jumping in line. So it's very important that you're in Sweden standing in line and waiting for them.
Yeah.
So I've always been, I guess as a Swede, interested in queue mechanics. Like how long does it take people to move in a line? What's the kind of the relationship between people, whatever. So I've always been kind of fascinated with the line, and then I've been working at Google for 5 years with small businesses and small business marketing. So I also love the space of helping small businesses leap ahead using online tools. And so when we moved to San Francisco, we just were struck away by how many people are waiting in line for different brunch places and different services around us. And it was always the same story. Like they had somebody taking down names on like a paper list, and we had to wait for like 2 hours for eating brunch at some place. And we were like, fuck, there has to be a smarter way of doing this. And that was kind of the inception of Waitwhile.
So who is your first customer?
Our first customer was a barbershop in New Jersey called High End Barbershop. And they're still one of our best customers. They're great. And for some reason, barbershops have really been using our service. But it is also, so I would say barbershops are the number one customer, also restaurants. And then universities are the third biggest ones.
University?
Yes, universities have different reception desks where students can go for different counseling services. They're using Waitwhile for that at like at least I think 20 or so odd universities in North America. But also like game rooms and like these random student halls where they have like PlayStation and pool tables and whatever, like the waitlist for that. So I think, and it, you know, there's just a bunch of different. We have, for instance, a company in I'm not going to say where specifically. I don't want to call them out, but the name is Naked for Satan, and that's a bar. So, you know, the spectrum of different businesses using a waitlisting tool is very broad, and that was our approach because there's a ton of restaurant-focused appliances that does queue management and they do scheduling and dinner reservations. So there are tools very focused on the restaurant space, but our assumption is any business essentially that have walking customers or any you know any service or whatever it is, they can benefit from a waitlist. As our strategy was to go very broadly, but yeah, it started with a barber shop in New Jersey.
Yeah. I like your story of Santa with evening. So please tell me more about this story, Santa evening.
Evening with Santa.
Evening with Santa. Yeah.
It's this fantastic guy, Jason, in I think Philadelphia, who, as a volunteer service, works at a hospital. You know, a kids hospital. So there's sick children in that hospital, and they're staying there over Christmas. So essentially what he's doing is he wanted to bring them some Christmas joy. So he gets dressed as Santa, and then kids can sit in his lap and their parents are there and they can take a photo with Santa and they can make a wish. So it's a beautiful service, and I think he's been doing it for a couple of years, and it's really popular. So there's about 250 or so families at these events. So in the previous years, you know, essentially what they're doing is everybody's just standing in a big line waiting to sit with Santa. And they have a ton of activities around it. So you could buy hot cocoa, you could do other things around it. But what ended up happening last year and the previous years is people are just standing in line the whole evening. So that was it. So what he said is, hey, you know, what if we could use Waitwhile and just make sure that people can add their names? They can still be in the list, but they can do the other activities. They don't need to stand in the line. So this year he was using Waitwhile, and he made this really beautiful video of just showing how the setup was working with the check-in station, with like a live monitor where people can see the wait list, and then where he took the photos and how he printed it. It was really cool and pretty inspiring to see. It's kind of a random business as well that was using our tools, so that was pretty cool.
So finally, please tell me about your dream.
Okay. So my dream with Waitwhile is, I think, to eliminate or make the wait worthwhile. So the whole idea with the name Waitwhile is waiting made worthwhile. So now we're at a point where in the waiting experience as a customer, you can at least get information like how much time am I waiting, how much time is it, what's the estimated time, and so forth, that kind of like information style. But I want to make the waiting experience worthwhile, which means what are the other super cool things you can do when people are waiting? Like, let's say you can have a dating app, like people in line, they can be dating, or let's say you have like you're waiting for a restaurant, but we know that there's a bar around the corner. You know, you can go and get a discount on getting a beer in the bar, and like finding geographical kind of mini communities in the waiting kind of sphere. I think that would be super interesting. Like, how do we make the waitlisting experience super pleasant and the waiting actually more pleasant? Because there's so much time being wasted of people just waiting for stuff. Like, they should be doing something more fun and productive. So that's kind of the Waitwhile experience, like the Waitwhile dream. I think my personal dream is to start and run a really successful business at some point. I've been at Google for 5 years. I love Google. Google is a fantastic company. You know, but obviously the dream is to create the next Google. The
next to Google.
The next Facebook. It's never gonna happen. Most likely. But you know, you want to dream high and shoot high. I think Google is a company that really inspires and encourages innovation and creativity among their staff. So it's a really cool place to be.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.